Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday from sunny San Diego. Yes, the sun is shining again for the first time in several days. The sky's white, which is overcast. I'm just checking. Yes, but at least the sun is shining. So spring is coming and Easter will be soon. So that'll be nice. I know you don't join me to get a weather report. Maybe I should have been a weather girl. I knew a weather girl a long, long time ago, actually. And I shared an office with the Weather Channel as well in London at some point. There's a fun fact about me that you didn't know. Well, I'm warming you up gently today because today is going to be a hard, tough subject. Yes. I've been thinking about this for over a week because it keeps coming up in different ways. And I really felt that it was absolutely essential to talk about it. So here we are. Before we do any of that, though, my name is Andrea Kuchin. Okay. And I am, hang on a minute, am I in the right place? Yeah, here we go. Andrea Kuchin. There we go. And I am in My Home Biz Tips, which is the live feed that we do every week with PhD and follow-up. And that's really important today, the PhD and follow-up thing, because it relates to the subject I'm talking about today, which is the worst thing you could possibly do for your business, in my humble opinion. And the reason that my humble opinion is relevant in this particular subject is because it has been my work for the last 10 years to help people to get to be PhDs in follow-up, to basically improve and enhance their communication systems so that they can grow their businesses. Why? Because communication with your contacts, connection with them, connection is currency. Some people say contacts are contracts, right? But if you have lots of connections and you're not communicating, there will be no currency. If you have lots of contacts, but you are not communicating, there will be no contracts. Okay, that is the really, really crucial, important matter in this conversation, which brings me onto what it's all about. So I've spoken many times before, well, a few times before, about how you start a conversation. And I've written about this and I've talked about this because we get people reaching out to us on social media and they say, hey, you want to look at this video? You want to watch this? You want to see this? You want to click on this link because you really are going to want my product. And one politely says, no, thank you. And they come back with, but you really need my product. I haven't even looked at your product, but I don't know whether I need it or not. But telling me I have to look at it because I need it is absolutely a surefire way of not getting me to look at it. That is not the communication cycle. When you think about communicating, you must always think of it like a dance or a courtship, right? And dance is part of courtship, actually. I mean, just watch what happens in nature, in the courtship thing. But there is always, in natural, normal, polite society, a way of doing it. Yes, there are the rough hordes and the Vikings and the savages and the whatnots that go around raping and pillaging their way through life, but they ultimately don't do well doing it that way. So in order to grow your business in a happy, healthy way, you need to follow the rules. And the rules are that you connect first. So imagine you're at a party, right? Imagine you've gone to an elegant cocktail party. People are not going to come rushing up to you and screaming at the top of their voice what they do and who they are. No, that's not how it works. They are going to walk up to you gently. They might shake your hand. They might give you their name. And the first question would be, who do you know at the party? How did you get to the party? If you're a wedding, it would be, are you on the groom's side or the bride's side? You know, we find a footing, we find something that connects us. Okay, we're at the same party. So what other people at the party do we know? We're at the wedding. So are we connected by knowing the groom? Are we connected by knowing the bride? Right? These are the ways that communication starts. When you meet someone at a church organization or any other kind of group that you might belong to, you talk about what you have in common first, right? It builds a foundation. It is the same at a business event. If you went to a real networking event in person, you would not push your business card into everybody's hand saying, you must click on the link on my business card because you really need this product. And if you did that, if you went to real live networking events that way, you would be asked to leave. I guarantee it, because that is not the way people like to do it. That is why traditionally networking events have usually involved having breakfast together, having lunch together, and then afterwards we'll talk about why we're here. We'll talk about the business. But meanwhile, while we're having our lunch and our breakfast, we'll talk about the weather or something that we've watched or heard or seen, or something where we came from, the city we grew up. We'll find someone across the room who grew up in the same city that we did, or somebody who belongs to, you know, another organization somewhere that we're connected with, or something like that. Someone who did amateur dramatics when they were at school, or who went to the same university, because somehow we feel more connected when we do that, right? As the introducer of the conversation, as the person who is starting the conversation, we feel more comfortable that way. And as the recipient of the flow of communication, we feel more connected somehow to the person who's talking to us. It's the same anywhere. If you are doing it online, if you're using LinkedIn, if you're using Facebook, it is the only way to go. So that's the first step. Now, the next step is how you continue your communication, right? And what we teach is how you track what's happening. Now, in the old days, it used to be a calendar and a Rolodex and a phone. You know, I had a Filofax and I had my contacts and my calendar in the same book, which was ever so clever. And the telephone, you know, and I used to sit at my desk and go through that way. And when someone said, I'm going to be away for 3 weeks, you can call me when I get back, I would go 3 weeks in my calendar and I'd write their name. And then I'd go to the entry on the Rolodex or in the contact section and I'd say, you know, trip to India or something, you know, vacation to India or business trip to Italy or something. So that when I then spoke to them in 3 weeks' time, I could quickly check the notes and say, how was your holiday in India? Or how did your business trip to Italy go? And they're like, wow, she's great. She cares about us. She actually remembered where we went. No, I didn't. I was tracking it. I wrote it down somewhere. Yes, I wrote it down because I care, because I'm interested in keeping the communication going, and I'm interested in that person as a person. And at some point, my intention is for that person to become my customer, but I'm not expecting my mind, my brain, my memory to be able to handle everything. That's not what it's for. Read David Allen, Getting Things Done. That's not what it's for. It's for being able to be creative and come up with brilliant ideas and new opportunities and that kind of thing. That's what this is for, this memory that we have. You need a system to track everything. And that is not just about follow-up. It's also because follow-up is associated with sales, right? But the process continues. So when somebody becomes your customer, when you close the sale, it continues. And for me, that's always been really important because my selling has been to do with technology. So I've had to stay connected to my customers and my clients to make sure that they are able to use the technology that I am selling them. There have been software products with greeting cards, software products with digital business cards, software products with CRM follow-up systems, whatever they may be. So it's important for me to get people trained to use the software, to know how they can get help, and to keep them going, because otherwise what's going to happen? They're going to quit because it wasn't working. Obviously it was working. They weren't using it because they couldn't figure it out. So that's why keeping track of things has become really, really important to me as part of what I teach. The following up, following through, if you like, on the understood agreement, because the agreement, the understanding when somebody becomes a client of yours is that you are going to look after them. That is what they expect from you. So how good is it for your business when you then don't do that? Now, there are several ways you could not do that. You could not do that by delegating to somebody else, right? You could not do that by just being too busy, not being available. There have even been incidences where people have said, I don't have time to keep track of what you're doing, which basically means I don't care about you. I'm making money from you, but I don't care about you. I mean, what is that actually saying? Do I, as the customer or the client, really feel that I want to continue this relationship, that I want to continue to allow you to make money on our relationship, my paying for a service? Or am I going to think, can I get that service somewhere else? And am I going to go somewhere else? Now, there are some services that are provided only one time, like buying a property. So if I'm working with a realtor and I just don't like the way that realtor does business, it doesn't matter, because once I bought my house, I never have to have anything to do with that realtor again. But wouldn't it be better for that realtor to have me as a referral source? Because you know how powerful a good referral source can be to a realtor. I don't know how many of you know realtors or real estate agents, but in America and potentially in the UK as well, I don't remember, although I have employed several in the UK, I do not remember. But in the US, because that wasn't the business I was in, but in the US, I've worked with a lot of real estate agents, and they are in the habit of giving 2 business cards, one for you and one for a friend. They're in the habit of, on the back of their business card, it'll say, I'm never too busy for your referrals, or I really appreciate your referrals. A business card is usually given at the beginning of a relationship. So why would you want to make referrals to somebody when you don't even know how good their business is or what they're like? Usually on their email footer, it says, I want your referrals. Please send me your referrals. Again, you might be on their mailing list without having done business with them. If you haven't done business with them and all you get is emails, why would you want to refer them? I've worked with many business owners, with many real estate agents. My real estate agents don't do that anymore. They never ask for referrals. Why not? Because they don't need to. Why not? Because they've got enough referrals coming in, because they are continuing to be in communication with people all the time. Even if it's just a birthday card or a holiday card or a card on the day the sale closed a year later saying, how have you enjoyed your first year in your new home? And then the year after that, happy home anniversary. No promoting, no advertising, just saying, remember me, I'm the realtor that sold you your home, in a very nice, sweet way. Or a little email, it could be, or something else, but something that keeps you top of mind with people who've worked with you, because they are the best source of referrals. And realtors who've worked with us do not need to advertise. How much money do you think that's saving them? And they don't need to ask for referrals. That's just one industry. Another industry is the MLM industry. Now, in that industry, it's easy to say to somebody, I'm too busy to look after you. I'm going to give you to my upline or my downline, or to come across saying that. But that's not the way it works. Because when you're in an MLM business and you're building a team and you are part of the team above you and part of the team below you, everyone gets paid the same, right? In fact, often the person above you gets paid much less for someone below you than you do, because if you introduce them, you get paid more. So for you to have the attitude of, it's not my responsibility to look after this person and make sure they're happy and keep in communication with them, my upline can do it, that's not fair, because your upline gets paid a fraction of what you get paid. The company pays you to do the job of making sure that that customer is happy. Now, if you have some kind of an arrangement with your upline, as I do with my uplines and downlines in various of my businesses, where more clients will be given to that person because they're doing more of the work, that's different. And if you're partners and you're working together, you might only have one position in the company. That's a completely different ballgame. But normally in the MLM structure, the person who brings the customer in or the distributor in makes the bulk of the commission on that person. So when you then give it to your upline to deal with because you're too busy or you haven't learnt how everything works, you're breaking the system. And the reason that the system is such a good one is because everybody takes responsibility. And your mindset should be, I am going to take responsibility not only for the people directly to me, but the people underneath that too. Because that way, your people have a better and stronger support system. And what do people do when they have a strong support system? They want to help. They want the business to flourish. They're more interested and engaged and more likely to work hard. So this isn't just about how to communicate when someone is a prospect. And I've been focusing a lot on that right now because of a company that I'm involved in, which is all very new. It's also about how you keep in communication with them once they become your customers. And the worst thing that anybody in any business could do, whether they own a restaurant, whether they own a shop of some kind, whether they are a virtual assistant, it doesn't matter. A dentist, a doctor, a candlestick maker, it doesn't matter. There's a poem, isn't there? That's something to do with that. You know, a tailor, a candlestick maker, whatever, or a nursery rhyme, whatever business it is, whatever industry it is, the worst thing you could ever do is give the impression that you don't care about your customers and your clients. The impression. It doesn't mean that that's how you feel, but it's how you're coming across to them. And they see and they hear everything, including what's between the lines and what's hidden, right? And once they're your customer in one thing, you know, if you've got a sales funnel, if you've got less expensive products coming up to more expensive products, you still need to woo them into other things, other products, other services, up leveling them, or, you know, side sales. You've bought the training course, now buy the book. You know, you've bought the book, now buy the audio, or whatever it is, you know, buy the work. But whatever it is, you know, you're in this MLM with me, now join me in this MLM. You still need to woo them the same way. They might say, it's okay, just tell me what it is, because your relationship is that good by then. But your viewpoint should always be woo them as much as possible. You are courting that person. You would never, at a party, go up to someone you were attracted to and say, get your clothes off, let's have sex. You would say, can I get you a drink? Who invited you to the party? That's a gorgeous shirt you're wearing. I see your glass is empty. Can I top it up? Or what's your name? And then you'd invite them for coffee, and then you'd invite them for dinner, and then you'd invite them for the movies. Business is the same, right? Don't just send emails out or messages in social media with your link. Don't force people to look at your product because you know how much they need it, because that is only going to convince them they don't need it. And if they do have a look and they do find that product, they're going to buy it from somebody else, right? They're going to find it from somebody else. I've seen messages on social media within groups saying, does anyone in this group sell XYZ product? Because some products you have to have a distributor. So if you're sending out your distributor link saying, buy this product right now, and people are curious to see what it is, and they're going to your link and they're finding out what the name of the product is, they're then going somewhere else to say, does anyone in this group sell this product? And then they find their distributor. So you're actually not only damaging yourself, you're helping somebody else. Because yes, if the product is worth having, those people are going to want it. So don't throw them away by making it seem like you don't care. And one, just before I go, I've noticed recently I've been getting a lot of inflow, a lot of communication messages coming in Facebook and LinkedIn. And they say, hi, I'm doing this, or I'm building my network, or I'm connecting with new business owners, or I'm looking for people to connect with. Put my name in. Show that you've got that much interest in putting my name in, because otherwise what's going to happen? If I don't see my name there, I know that the reason you didn't have time to put my name in is because you're sending thousands of these out every day. Otherwise, you'd have the time. It's 6 letters. Yeah, it's 6 letters, right? You can do that, surely. And if you really want to wow somebody, say, I see you're interested in, so am I. Or something that's personal. Relate it to being at a cocktail party. What would you say? If you were standing at the food table, you might say, oh, I'm going to have one of those. Do you like prawns? Or if you were in a reading group, you might say to everyone, what was your favorite book? Just, think of it in that way. It doesn't take much. And those few extra seconds, even if you are sending out hundreds and hundreds of messages, those few extra seconds are going to make that bit of difference. Because when I see 3 or 4 messages coming in from totally disconnected people and they've got exactly the same words in them, they're either sharing the same VA or the same system, and they really would benefit from taking the time to just put at least my name in. Okay, that's it for today. So the worst thing you could ever do for your business, whatever industry you're in, whatever industry you are in, is to make your customers and your prospects, clients, patients, leads, whoever they are, feel as though you don't really care about them as an individual. If they think they are one of 6 million or whatever it is, they're not going to be interested in you. It doesn't matter how good your product is, it can always be purchased from somebody else. My PhD and follow-up system, the way that I've structured it and built it up over the last 10 years, is completely and utterly unique. There's no one out there who does it quite like Robert and I do. But there are plenty of people who will sell you a CRM system. And there are other people. I went to a talk recently that somebody gave all about follow-up. So there are other people who will teach you about follow-up. So I know that if people think they want what I've got, but they don't want me, they're going to go and look for it elsewhere. They have to want me. Know, like, and trust. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Such an old cliche, but the oldies are always the goodies. Just because it's ancient, old, and cliched doesn't mean to say it's not true. Human beings are all the same. We have been the same throughout history. We have emotions. We want someone to care about us. We just want somebody to care. So the worst thing you could do for your business is to appear not to care. The best thing you could do for your business is to love everybody, to care about everybody, to want them to do really well, to push for their success. Because as both Napoleon Hill and Zig Ziglar have famously said, it's by supporting and pushing other people that you yourself then find yourself at the top. Now, that was my wording, but the sentiment is the same. You help enough other people achieve what they want, and you will in turn achieve what you want. You'll get your success by helping other people be successful. Okay, so that's the end of today. Do comment. Do let me know what you think. Am I right? Or am I completely crazy? You look at your business. You look at how many people you're communicating with, how many clients you're closing, how many referrals you're getting, and then you tell me whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. Okay, I challenge you to do that. Okay, just before I disappear completely. Our website is phdinfollowup.com, phdandfollowup.com. You can email me at andrea@phdandfollowup. You can text me or call me at this number, 858-252-1190, 858-252-1190. It's sitting right here. If you're not already in our Facebook group, join it. Just go to Facebook, look up PhD and follow up. You'll either get our page or you'll get our group. Or go to Facebook groups and look up PhD and follow up. Then you'll get the group. Okay. That's it. That's it for today. Go out there, love people, show them you care, and you will be surprised at how your business flourishes. That's all I have for today. Goodbye, my friends. See you next week.